The ground trembled with a roar, and in that very moment, every gaze turned toward the small dog, standing between an enraged lion and death itself. Just minutes earlier, this same dog had carried home an injured lion cub, dropping it gently at the wooden doorstep of an old man's house inside the wildlife reserve. But that single act of compassion triggered a nightmare no one could predict. Would the dog survive the wrath of the king of beasts, or was tragedy inevitable? Stay until the end to witness the heartbreaking twist no one ever saw coming. This story takes place in the Masai Mara Reserve in Kenya, a place where lions roam free and humans live in fragile coexistence. The main character is a mixed-breed dog, about 5 years old, once saved from a pack of hyenas by an elderly man. Since then, the dog lived by his side, loyal and protective. But one fateful day, their bond would be tested in a way no one imagined. One misty morning, the dog heard faint cries from a nearby thicket. Following the sound, he found a lion cub, its leg bloodied, trembling in pain. Gently, he gripped the cub by the scruff, trying to drag it to safety. But then came the chilling sound howls of hyenas closing in. Their eyes glowed red with hunger as they encircled both dog and cub. In that instant, the dog stood frozen at the edge of life and death, forced to make an impossible choice. Defying fear, the dog dragged the injured cub toward the old man's wooden house. When the door creaked open, the man froze, staring at the trembling dog, laying the lion cub carefully at his feet. For a brief heartbeat, their eyes met. The cub's golden gaze and the dog's loyal stare, two creatures bound by something greater than instinct. But silence soon turned heavy. From deep in the forest, a thunderous roar shook the air. Emerging from the shadows, the mother lion appeared. Her eyes blazed with fire, fixed not only on her wounded cub, but also on the small dog standing defiantly before it. Without hesitation, the lioness charged. The old man shouted, but the dog leapt forward, planting himself like a shield. His fur bristled, his teeth bared, eyes locked in unyielding courage. The lioness roared, the kind of roar that could crush mountains. Death loomed over the little dog, but then she stopped. Slowly, the lioness bent down, licking the wound on her cub. Then she looked at the dog. In her burning gaze was not only fury, but something else. Acknowledgement. Not prey, not enemy, but a savior. The old man pulled his dog close, heart trembling. The lioness nudged her cub to rise, then turned back into the forest. But before disappearing, she cast one final glance, an unforgettable look that carried both power and respect. From that day on, the villagers spoke of the little dog who dared to face death itself, just to save another life. Every evening, the dog sat quietly on the porch, gazing into the woods, where once the terrifying roar had thundered. But if you think this was the most miraculous story, you haven't heard about the dog who risked his life to help a lioness give birth. Minutes later, something shocking happened. Don't miss the next video, because it made the whole world weep.